This game is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Hello people, and welcome back to Manor Lords, now with new maps, which is very exciting. We have a river, finally. I have been waiting for this game to receive some more significant waterways for pretty much since it came out. Massively needed, and it's a pleasure to see them, isn't it? Really, really cool. There is also a new mountain map as well, which I will leave some footage of up on screen. But we do have a new province to play with. Let's have a little look at this from the bird's eye perspective, shall we? So if you haven't seen our initial series on Manor Lords, of course, one of my favourite kind of village colony simulators that came out last year into early access, of course, and this is its biggest update yet. UI changes, multiple gameplay improvements, new maps, new mechanics, and just a general lot of balancing and fun, right? So this is going to be a nice time. Let's get stuck into our camp here, shall we? So our homeless people living by the tents in the river. And look at that for just a much more interesting landscape, right, compared to the base game map we had. Night and day. Either way, let's get started with a fresh start in this new update, shall we? So let's come into our gathering, and the first thing that needs to go down, of course, is the logging camp. And let's just position this next to this forest, and we can start to clear this out. In terms of what we have resource-wise in our province here, we do have some wealthy berries, wealthy stone, and we've got some clay and wild animals a little bit further afield as well. So it looks like those berries are going to be our first sort of resource spot, right? So let's come into our construction, and we're going to be placing down a forager hut. And I guess we can just have this. There's a nice little clearing for it here, right? Let's go ahead and put that in there. And then we'll draw a road down to this as well. So I'll leave all the improvements and changes that I've come to Manor Lords up on the screen. You can also find the full list over on Steam as well if you're interested. Let's go ahead and wrap up some of these roads here as well. Superb. Folks are also going to need a well, so let's come into our residential and see where we can find them. Thankfully, there's some underground water flows directly near our camp here, so let's make this kind of part of our central area here, shall we? That should be suitable right there. And let's take a moment to enjoy the ambience of Manor Lords, right? This game is just so soothing. I really like it. There's been some improvements to people's faces as well. The construction animations have been tweaked just to become more realistic.
Where are the pegs? Oh, there they are.
Hey, where are the planks? There they are. How immersive. Wonderful, right? So yeah, improvements to building animations amongst other things as well. Really, really sweet. Cool, so we have our logging camp done. Let's go ahead and get 2 families in here straight away. And I am going to limit their work area, because I don't want them to chop down the berry bushes that are across the street. So let's just get them focusing pretty much on this bulk of riverside forest right there. We do have some exposed goods. Our food is on the floor, so let's also address this too. Let's go ahead into our logistics, and I want to grab the granary. This is going to cost us 2 timber and 10 stone. Again, we'll maybe turn off snap to road here. Now, these tents eventually are going to go away. But for right now, we'll start to cluster our main central marketplace and initial burgage plots around this nice little riverside spot here. There's a great cliffside across the riverway that looks like it would make for a tremendous spot for the Lord's Manor, wouldn't it? But it is unfortunately in a different province, so we do spawn here in Dornley, or Dornley, is that pronounced? That's a great spot for your Lord's Manor, isn't it? Put it right on the hill there. There we have a new message. Let's have a look here. I've heard of your renown. I always seek to defend my rights and honour against those who would wrong me. Let's write back to Lord Hildebalt. And currently, there is only still the 1 response. Hopefully it's not too many more updates before we see the diplomacy kind of get fleshed out a little bit more, which will be fun. I always enjoy playing with the diplomacy in these types of semi-RTS games, I suppose. Super. So he's going to construct the well here. There are new faces as well. people look a little bit more realistic now. Not that they didn't in the first place, they were still absolutely wonderful. Trees just fell onto the camp there. Everyone seems to be okay. We should be alright. Cool. And how is our berry hut getting on here as well for this? Construction in the forest. You can see the individual little planks getting added on now, can't you? Very cool. Fantastic. That should be very nearly done. It's a fast forward time. A brief moment. There we go. Let's go ahead and get that forager set up. And we can start to harvest some of those rich berries as well. I just like the granary to be relatively high priority. So we don't want the food to perish. And then in terms of what else you want to place down here, a storehouse is also going to be needed as well. Let's see if we can find a happy position here. This is the national road here, so this is going to be a trade route in the future. There's a trade spot right here because we've spawned really close to the edge of the map. And we can build our own bridges now as well. I believe they cost planks. Which should be really cool for fighting if we can create a bottleneck, like a real choke point. Kind of helms deep it a little bit. I think we can have quite a lot of fun with the fighting on these river maps, can't we? So hopefully we'll get to do some fighting in the new update as well. Tremendous. See what else we want to move through and gather here. We're going to want a woodcutter's lodge as well, because we're going to need the firewood. We'll make this part of our forestry industry over here. And let's just go ahead and put that right there. Fantastic. It's got 2 families spare at the minute. These folk are also going to want a marketplace at some point as well. I wouldn't mind having... We're going to put our houses probably around here, right? I think it'd be cool to have them backing onto the water. So probably we'll end up putting the marketplace, I reckon, currently where the tents are, but we can't for right now. So let's create a little bit of a circle here. And we'll fill this space with markets too. I don't think we can move the homeless tents, can we? No, we can't. The ability to upgrade this into a more permanent shelter has also been removed. I believe that mechanic is going to be looked at, so that won't be away from the game for too long, I don't think. I did really enjoy that. Kind of gave you a bit more time before you had to build the burgage plots. There's the granary. Let's get a family in that. There we go, they're now requesting the market area, so I guess we can just build a temporary one for them. Let's go into residential, and you shall have the market area that you all desire. It is not in residential, it is in logistics, there we go. And I guess we can just stick it behind the tents for the time being, can't we? That should be okay. And then, hopefully, not too long now, before we get some good stockpiles of logs. There goes the storehouse as well, fantastic. Let's take a family away from the logs now. And then we'll give this to the storehouse as well, so we can start to store all of these supplies over here. How are we doing for logs here? We've got 5 at the minute. I guess we can go ahead and start getting those burgage pots down now then. So let's also draw out some roads here. So we'll connect this one into the main national road. And then let's grab our first houses. So guess sort of here is what I want to run with first. So let's go with an initial 3. They're going to be fairly large back gardens too, so we'll be able to get some good vegetable plots in there. And then as those next few logs trickle in, we can then upgrade them to have the 2 extra that we need over this side, I think. How are we doing actually for fertility here? Emma, not really. Flax, barley and... We could grow a little bit of rye here, but otherwise it's not the most fertile province ever. So it looks like we'll be relying on berries and animals for our food supply. Initially we'll have to import a lot of the barley, I imagine. So either way, let's watch our folk build their houses here on this wonderful new river map as the rains begin to piss down upon this land. Oh, that gust of wind, isn't that just so immersive? Even though Manor Lords is an early access title, the atmosphere this game manages to create is some of the most unique thing I've ever played. I really, really enjoy this game. Some new house animations as well. See those stone foundations going in, which is really cool. Very sweet. I keep pressing escape to put the UI back on, which I don't need to do. Let's go ahead and get those extra 2 burgage pots built in, so you can just slide next door to your brethren, and then we need 2. And there's a total of 5. Which should look pretty snazzy, I think, having these houses built up against the back of the water here. That should be really cool. We got a food store and a common goods store now as well, which currently doesn't have anything stored inside it, and neither does the food store. But do we have anything stored in here? Yeah, so our tools, stone and firewood is all in here. And we've got those initial bread and berries also there too. So we do have a rich stone deposit, was it, on this map? Yes, we do. I would like to utilise this, so let's go ahead and get our mining down. No, we won't, because we need the saw pit first. We'll come to gathering. And this will refine timber into planks, so let's keep this nearby to our timber supply. And by nearby, I mean immediately next door. Not enough goods, let's just fast forward time a little bit. We just need 1 more log, there it is. I do like to kind of position these to make a little workyard almost. I know we usually end up moving them anyway, but I think there's some element of detailing to be had, I think, positioning your extraction buildings together. Just to make something a bit more just sort of realistic, I think. Our woodcutter's lodge is now available, so I'm going to stick a worker in there. We're going to need that fuel. That does leave us with no builders, so I think we'll take the guys at the storehouse for right now. And we can connect this road down there now too. Let's also do some other connections we would expect to see. Let's tighten the road formation up there. And then connect that in. We can start to watch this little village centre develop. It won't be too long before we have the ability to host some more families. Because these burgage plots that we've placed in right now do have the ability to have living space added to them, which will allow more families to move in. However, we do need some logs to do that. So we've also had more family members join one of the settlers here, which is fantastic. We can also give them an upgrade. We can do vegetable gardens immediately. Or we can wait till we get some planks to get chicken coops and animal pens, which have been recently added as well. Goats will give us some passive hide, which can be nice for leather. Especially since our current leather supply is alive and kicking right on the other side of our province, which is a little bit irritating. So maybe some goats in the village with that passive meat and hide would also be quite welcome too. We do have those logs now, so I think we're going to go ahead and expand the living space. So we should see them build that little extra spot there. It can also be really useful to buy another ox early on as well, but since everything's relatively close together here, I don't think that's something we really need to worry about. So I think we'll just bear with for what we've got at the time. There we go. So once our approval is up, of course, we need to be above 50% approval in order to keep our people happy and attract new families, and we do have the space for them there. That homelessness disapproval rating will slowly dissipate, and then we can have a look at satisfying The next thing, which is going to be the church, for which we want planks, which our saw pit is currently in the process of being done. So let's start to gather this together over here as well. Our common goods store has been abandoned because we removed our worker, but we need it, but we just need to manage our initial population at the start of this. Well, any settlement really. Cool, here's all our burgage pots coming up now. So it should be really sweet, almost like they have private river access. It'd be great to see them interact with the waterways at some point, maybe. Even if they go swimming, or maybe it can almost negate the use or need of a well if you're nearby to a river. They can walk down and grab a little bucket of water. That would be a really nice little feature. Well, there's day and night cycle too, right? Isn't that gorgeous? I have to remember to boost the brightness in the edit. So YouTube doesn't really tend to like dark videos that much. Fantastic. More family members are joining as well, which is great. So it's going to be more people doing the jobs that we already have assigned, which is fantastic. And there is our first settlement level. So let's have a little look at what we could do. We do have rich berries and rich stone, of course, so doubles the capacity of all berry deposits. I don't really like this perk too much because it only doubles the capacity and they're still a limited resource. Trapping is good because it gives, well, it allows them to lay traps, which gives passive income, which is quite nice. Or passive meat income, rather. Because we do have the stone, we could also do a rich deposit to create a deep mine, but that's 2 development points away. So because we're not really going to do any farming here either, I think we'll go down honey because the apiaries can be quite powerful. Every region can sustain up to 2 apiaries by default. Placing more will not increase yields. So let's do beekeeping then, I think, because we're not really going to specialize the settlement to produce anything else. I have a new message. A strong militia is paramount to the survival of any settlement. Luckily, a shipment of weapons has just arrived, and you will now be able to create your first militia banners to serve you and protect your people. However, we will need more weapons to equip all of the people as the settlement grows, either by making them or importing them from other lands. Often found importing them is always the better way to go in terms of that. But how are we doing for resources here? We've got 5 planks in, so I'm going to go ahead and put people into the saw pit. Fuel. We've got some good fuel reserves. Currently 10 months, so I'm going to take my woodcutters off of the current job. I think we can afford to lose that temporarily. Just while we get the first wave of planks made, because I do want to be able to build our church here. So we'll just let these do. So you've got all the timber storage in here. What was it? Was it 20 planks we wanted? It was indeed. There we go. We already have them. So let's just let them use those last 2 logs. It was a slightly higher surplus. And then we can put you back into the woodcutter's lodge as well. This will now give us the ability momentarily to build our hut. Just need to wait on those extra planks coming in. And then we should have enough room to build the church here. We could also go for upgrades to our initial storages, but we still got plenty of capacity. I don't think there's really a need for that. And just a few more logs. We also want to build the mine as well, don't we? Which we do have the surplus for. But let's get that church done first, I think. Right, so church, this is a big old chungus. And where are we going to put the rest of our houses as they grow up here? Probably all going to grow up centrally around this space, isn't it? So let's have our church right here. And then we can build more burgage plots along the riverbanks here as we clear out this forest. Now we have placed that, let's go ahead and add our stone cutter camp, which we just need 1 piece of timber. So this is pretty far away. I think I would rather them walk to work from the stone cutter camp than build the stone cutter camp out here. So let's do this one, I guess, in and around our industry, and this way they're right by the storehouse. And then we'll send them to walk up to the stone deposit, I think, is what we're going to do there instead. So would love to expand more living spaces here as they do become available. And we do have some regional wealth to spend as well, so I think in the larger burgage plots here, we could go ahead and do... Oh, I know we have to pay for the goat as well afterwards, don't we? Chickens are also good as well, just due to the eggs. That's going to help give us food variation, which we are going to need. We lost 6 bread to the bandits. We'll have to see if we can deal with them. So vegetables do take a while to kick in. It's quite a hard choices actually. I think I'm going to go with vegetables and then expanded living space again. And then let's also make church a top priority here as well. And yeah, let's also do expanded living space everywhere else. Just gotta wait for those churches to come in. The balance of the production chain becomes significantly easier once we have just a few extra families to distribute across all the jobs that need doing here. We could also buy another ox as well. I wouldn't be averse to that. I'm going to upgrade this into a small stable because that will give us that extra animal capacity. And there's that plus 50% approval now. Yeah, so we will start to attract other people into our village as well. You can see those vegetable plots down here as well. So over time, these will grow and begin to contribute toward our food economy, which is entirely reliant upon berries at the minute. That rich berry resource is doing us some wonders. And I wouldn't mind actually getting a hunter's shack set up as well. Let's go to gathering. So there is also a fisherman's hut as well. Now I don't think, strangely enough, we can't fish the rivers. You do need a shoal of fish resource, which is one in the province next door. Yeah, this is what you need to fish, which is a little bit of a shame. It would make sense to be able to fish the river. But hopefully that's going to come at a later date. So let's go ahead and build our hunter's camp. Again, we could have this over here and then just limit their work rate to come over there, but that's such a long way for them to travel. Really is quite far away. So I think we will build it over here. This is not really a priority, so we'll leave it at medium. It's going to be fine. Super. So we're still just above that 50%. Hopefully we'll be getting some extra families in the not too distant future, especially once this church goes up. We'll actually make this highest priority. I want that church done. The rains batter the village again as well. Look at that. And lightning as well. I'm going to try edit today's video as little as possible. We just want the atmosphere and the ambience of Manor Lords to come across. Such a chill game, isn't it? Hope you're all enjoying it, everyone. Let's have a look how our berry deposit's doing over here as well. It's okay, of course, but it is very seasonal. So once that does deteriorate when we hit the winter, that hunter's cabin is going to be needed. It's over there. Let's give them a slightly more convenient road as well, shall we? There we go. Should help them get there a bit easier. Stonecutters camp is coming, getting plenty of storage here as well. There we go, there's our initial wave of spears. Let's go ahead and recruit our spear militia. That gives us 10. And then, do we want to have a look at possibly bringing in the manor now? Which is small village, which we are small village. But we do need the stone and the planks for that, which will come hopefully in the not too distant future. There we go, we got a new family. That's perfect. So I would love to reinstate the... So let's get the saw pit working again, because we're going to start using those planks quite soon. And then we can just move this saw pit family back into. Of course, one of the things I do love about Manor Lords is you can click on the building, and it will show you where the people are and what they're doing in terms of their job. So we got Tom and Ott. Shout out to our patron Ott as well, of course. I know he is German. And we also have Dorothea as well. Is it Dorothy? I would probably read that as Dorothea, I think. So when we get someone back in the storehouse, we should get common goods coming back in here as well. Start getting those planks coming in too. Stone camp is very nearly done. As is the church, which again has just more wonderful animation. Of course, the Manor Lords team significantly expanded now. And what Darren plays is also involved. I'm not sure if he's on development, but of course he worked for, I think, Creative Assembly previously, didn't he? If you haven't checked out what Darren plays, by the way, wonderful creator, very good at Satisfactory as well. You should check him out if you haven't already. Wonderful. This is going very well. So we have available living space here. We do still have some bits available. Did we upgrade all living spots? No, let's get another one in there. But otherwise, I think everyone else does have the upgrades for living space now. Our storage is full at the saw pit. That's fine. We've got plenty of logs now, then we don't need that anymore. Let's get this built. I'm worried about our berries dwindling. In fact, they've dwindled so much that they don't exist anymore. We could go for a herb garden, but we don't really need herbs just yet. So our food supply is going to begin to dwindle now because the berries have run dry. So I really want to start kicking in the Hunter's Lodge, which will also help satisfy our home's need for clothing as well, because we're currently not doing that. Construction finished at the church. That should be a nice boost to our approval rating. And have we not upgraded this yet? We haven't, have we? Let's get the stable done, because I think I would like to bring in another ox. And then let's also get... Do you want to upgrade these just yet? I think we're still okay, really, aren't we? We've had a bandit camp sighted. Whereabouts are you? You are quite far north yet, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about those. I wouldn't mind also looking at getting a trade post sorted as well, so let's have a look at trade. Trading post is going to be for planks, or for timber, sorry, so I wouldn't mind having this nearby to our storehouse, because that's going to be a lot of the goods taken to and from. Let's have that right on the trade route across from the storehouse there. And we still do have some, I don't think I can change the size of these marketplaces when they're already down. But that's okay. New families are coming in, so storehouse can now have workers back in it. And we have people at the lodge. We could go for a bit more timber production, which I think we will until the stonecutters camp is done. That should be okay, I think. There we go, we can see the common goods store. Now is back up and running. And we've got decent approval here. I think we've got people moving all the way out here for those hunting camp things, haven't we? Okay, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get the hunting camp working as well. Have them over there. then come into advanced and leave at least 4 wild animals left as well. Don't hunt them to extinction. This does leave us with no construction around, so let's take the extra family out of the logging camp. And then we'll get the stonecutters camp going as well. Let's also have a look at some apiaries, because we did spend our point on them. So coming into gathering, they're only going to cost 4 planks. And every region can sustain up to 2. Placing more will not increase yields, so that's going to be fine. Let's have these right by our granary here. And we'll do 2. That's going to be a nice little bonus variation to our food supply, and we can probably trade that honey as well quite nicely. The stonecutters camp is finished, so again I want to give them some workers, and then they're going to go off then and head toward stone camp. So you don't actually need the building right there. They will go off and use it themselves, which is very nice. I guess we could have also done that same thing with the hunting lodge as well. Probably would have been a wise idea in hindsight. So we do need some workers. We've got tons of fuel, so I'm going to remove the woodcutter family. You guys can come back to work on construction. And we can watch our little village grow up quite nicely here. So we're also going to need some families for our apiaries as well. And I guess with the berries currently out of action, we don't need our people in there anymore. So they can come and start work on the apiary instead. And there's another family as well, which is fantastic. That should give us 2 families per burgage plot now, which is quite handy. We're also getting more people coming in all the time, aren't we? Should we set up another burgage plot as well, I think? Let's go ahead and just give ourselves that headroom per population expansion. I'm just going to run this pretty much in tandem with that one. We could do 2. I think we'll just go for 1 there, I think. Fantastic. So in terms of food variety here, of course we did plant vegetables, but they're not going to come to fruition for a little while. So I think in the next burgers plot we're going to do an animal pen. We'll have some goats in here, I think. Our second apiary is up. I'm going to go ahead and stick another family working in that apiary. And hopefully it's not too long now before these start to produce some food for us. Very nice, we do have that food variety as well already, don't we? Our trading post is also available, although it says he's disconnected from major trade routes. He shouldn't be. There we go, seems to have settled in. So in terms of trading, let's have a little look what we could possibly do here. Now, we are going to have a lot of stone, just due to the fact we have a rich stone deposit, and this is a minor trade, so we don't need to buy the trade route for that to trade it, which is quite nice. They are, however, only worth 1, which is pretty terrible. So, I don't have a look at food. We can sell honey for 3. Now, we do have the honey going quite nicely. What's it currently on? Still only 1, which isn't outstanding. But we could sell some honey. I wouldn't mind selling it. So let's export. But I only want to export anything over 10. So we'll keep 10 honey for ourselves. Anything else after that can go. And we don't need to establish the trade route. That's just going to make more merchants come for this specific type of good, which means we just essentially shift more volume. But we don't have that much volume to shift anyway, so I'm just going to leave it without the trade route. And then I suppose I will sell some stone as well. It's going to be easy to shift, so again, our desired surplus, let's just set that to 10. And then we can export that as well, because we're going to end up with quite a lot of stone, I think, aren't we? Yeah. But now we don't have a family currently in there working, which is fine. Should be okay. We're also going to need to have a look at a church upgrade in the not too distant future as well, for which we need some stone and those clay tiles as well. Our second burgers plot is up. Let's go ahead and give you expanded living space. And then next door to this, we can now buy some animals. So a goat will give us meat and hide every 150 days. Or we can get 2 meat. So I definitely want that little hide buff there. So I'm going to order some goats. And we can watch some goats knock about in this burger spot. Very cool. Approval's really high at the moment. We got good market food variety. How's the honey doing? Still only, well, 2. I think we just got another one there, didn't we? Yeah. Are they going to store that in the granary, I wonder? This is also really full as well now, so let's go ahead and upgrade to a large storehouse. And we could also do large granary as well. We do have the stone planks materials available. Yeah, let's just do it while we've got it. That way we don't have to worry about doing that in the future. And I think I'm going to make this whole sort of central square here a marketplace. So let's do logistics. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's not one continuous space, does it? There we go. They're technically 2 separate marketplaces, but they're both within the same square. New families coming in all the time now, which is really cool to see. Really, really great. It's starting to grow up nicely here now. So we can pretty much keep everything stocked. Let's go ahead and get someone working those trade routes too. They should start to bring in everything we're producing here. So I'm actually kind of curious as to what happens if we do build a 3rd apiary. I mean, they're not particularly expensive, are they? It's only 4 planks. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I just want to see what happens. Let's do a little bit of Manor Lords science, if we will, right? We'll try a 3rd apiary, see what goes on with it. Wonderful, we have our large buildings now as well. Should we take a little first person stroll? God, it's about to piss down, isn't it? Goodness me, it's a dark sky. Our trading posts here on the main 3 road. Oh, look at those autumn colours. It's red sky at night. Is it red sky at night, shepherd's delight, is it? So, good news for the sheep, I suppose. A wonderful little tour through the area here. Isn't that fantastic? Such a cool little addition, this first person walk mode. I think every city builder or village builder or colony sim, whatever you want to class these games as, must include a first person mode here, right? Going forward. It's really special. We can get a good view of some of the new faces here as well, if you want to. There she is, waiting in line to fill up her bucket. Such an immersive little simulation as well, isn't it, in Manor Lords? Beyond the gorgeous graphics and immersion that this game sets up there. Just watching people move around and enjoy the settlement that you create for them is, I think, as much fun as actually building it, you know. Fantastic. Everything's going very well here. So we'll let them build that apiary, and then we'll see what happens. So right now we have honey accumulating here. It is being taken to the granary slowly. So currently our granary workers, they're walking all the way up to the hunting camp, are they? I'm not sure I really like that, to be honest. So I think I am going to relocate the hunting camp. And then I'm just going to tell them you have to walk across the other side of the map to get there. So let's keep this nearby to our current sort of gathering buildings here, if you like. I'm going to move it over here. Now they will have exposed goods, of course, which is fine. And they will be picked up. I think it's just too long a distance for the granary workers to be walking all the way over here. I'd rather them just walk to the camp and let the hunters do the walking. So let's have a look at our current burgage people. The only thing they're really annoyed about right now is their clothing store supply, and we do have some hide coming in. Oh, the goats! The goats are here. Can we first person tour with the goats? Where's that? Oh, there we are. Imagine these people. Like, oh no, the Lord is here again. He's like, oh, the goats. Let me spend some time with the goats. Here they are. They're big, aren't they? Are goats this big? There we go. There is the Manor Lords goat. Very cool. But they'll have two. And I guess these are just going to passively breed and be harvested over time. Not sure if we will see them breed and multiply. Because obviously we are harvesting hide from them, so I'm guessing they're not around for the long term, if you know what I mean. A hunting camp, yeah, so I want to add the workers back in there, but now I just want to move their working area back over here. It already looks like they've diminished the animal herd down to size anyway. So, based on my calculations... Yeah, there we go. There's no gaming range or hunting limit has been reached, yeah, so they can't really hunt at the minute. Not that we really need to. We've got nearly 2 years worth of food in the bank, so I think I'm actually going to remove the hunting camp folk and they can come back to working on construction. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put them in the third apiary. I just want to see if this begins to produce. I guess we'll see. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that. Because every region can sustain up to 2 apiaries by default, and placing will not increase yields. So I guess we'll see if we get honey here. Maybe I'm totally misinterpreting what that's actually referring to. I guess we'll see. So with the hides, yep, I want to address some industry. I would like a tannery to come in. Now currently the pollution mechanic is not at play, so the tanneries don't really stink when they should. So I think it's a good idea to keep in the habit of keeping the smelly stuff away when that eventual smell mechanic does kick in. I'm just going to throw workers into the saw pit here because we do just need a couple of extra planks. There we go. And then let's have our tannery over here, shall we? Also expand out some roads around here as well. More really kind of desire lines right in Manor Lords where we expect people just to cut across the grass rather than follow an actual road. So this third apiary has a honeycomb inside, which is classed as a transitionary resource. Yep, berries are now out for the winter. We've still got plenty of food and fuel knocking around. How are we doing for stone? At 22, how much is it we need for the upgrade? A bandit stole some firewood from us, and tools as well. Is there another bandit camp? Or is it those over there? I think it is, isn't it? There's one over there as well. Yeah. I hope that the bandits actually visit soon to come and steal. It would make defending those resources a little bit easier. I guess maybe you could use the excuse of sneaking around at night. But let's possibly address the Lord's Manor, because that means we can start to tax people. So we can place this now. Where would be a good spot for our Lord's Manor, I wonder? I guess heading uphill is probably the obvious choice, isn't it? We're in a pretty limited space around here anyway, aren't we? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's have our Lord's Manor on the way into town here, if you like. That should be absolutely fine. We won't have the resources to build anything else around it right now. So let's just go ahead and get that down. That's going to give us our retinue. So we at least have some extra ways to defend our town when the inevitable war comes. Now, bringing in some bows is also relatively important. Now, we could do that by upgrading a family into an artisan at level 2, because we can create a bowyer's workshop. Or we can import them. How much are bows to import, I wonder? Let's have a little look. So come to military, and war bows is what we want. It is a major trade, so we need to actually buy the route first. Which is fine. How are the people here doing? Are you guys actually out and about trading? There we go. They just sold some stone there, didn't they? Don't think they're particularly selling honey right now. Our tannery is finished, which is good news. Do we want to unemploy our stonecutters? Then again, if we are selling the stone, it's going to be good to have that continual supply, isn't it? So it may be a good time now to have a look at expanding some more houses out around the back of our church, yeah. So I think we'll bring a road down the side here, if you like. And I guess that should be fine, actually. And then let's snap back to road with our burgers plots. And I'd like some houses to run. Again, just kind of backing up onto the river here is, I think, is a nice way. And let's go ahead and smarten these out so we can get the population upgrades with that little extra house icon there, which is really what I want. Because I want those extra living spaces to get 2 families on the same plot, if you like. With that regional wealth, we could also have a look at bringing in some more animals. And we do have veg and goats so far, so let's go ahead and complete the trifecta with chickens. And I think maybe with that next little bout of regional wealth, we might go ahead and get ourselves a second ox as well. New families moving in, absolutely wonderful. Where was that? Actually? Where did you guys just move in? Over here? Okay, that one's just had its secondary living space come in. They've really drawn the short straw here, haven't they? Having to live in this tiny little hut. It's okay though. They have very nice surroundings, don't they? Look at that, right? That's so cool. They're backing onto the water. I really hope they just allow fishing from these waterways going forward. It would absolutely make sense. Yeah, some larger lakes and ocean at some point perhaps. I know this is kind of, I guess, set in rural Germany, or at least kind of Central Europe tends to be the vibe, so you don't tend to find a lot of oceans in Central Europe. So, well, you know, just different landscapes just add so much variety to the game. Look how much we love seeing new maps in city skylines. I think this game's going to suffer a pretty similar fate as that. New maps and variation are just going to help keep things so much more interesting. Wonderful, so we're starting to get some really good surplus in workers now as well, which is great. So we can start to populate some of the other jobs. How are we doing for, do we want to get someone back on the Woodcutter's Lodge? I think we will. And I also want to get, actually no, let's take them out of the Woodcutter's Lodge because we've still got loads. So let's go ahead and get the tannery working. I would like to start processing those hides. And we should have our chickens in here now. Yes, we do. Wonderful. That's going to be even more food variety. Berries are insane at the minute. We have just endless amounts of berries. I don't know if they're going to tweak that. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for berries to last years, but it's fine. We accidentally teleported toward our what are they called? Bandits then. That's okay though. Don't know if these guys are going to be close enough to the markets here actually. I guess we'll see. Should be. It's not too far distance for them to cover. I want this to be built as well. Pretty sharpish, please. Let's go ahead and make this highest priority. Do we have the stone? Yes, we do. And there we go. So we can see that stone and honey stockpiling in the trading post now. Yeah, so they're all stocking goods for sale. Respecting the surpluses that we set in. Going somewhere is Hans. Is he out trading then, I guess? We can show their home. So our trading family live over here. Fantastic. Reef tiles is something we should look at. Not too far away. We could trade them, although they are a major trade, which means we have to establish the trade route. Which I'm not a huge lover of that, to be honest. So we'll probably have to produce them locally. And the clay is miles away, isn't it? Yeah. Even further away than the animals. Of course it is. Of course it is. That's fine though. So wait. So I'm wondering actually how many goats we're going to need to make a significant impact within the the hide production, because one hide every 150 days doesn't sound like it's going to clothe an awful lot of people. There we go. She's now peddling leather and firewood. So interesting that leather is actually falling under the common goods store now. It's not setting up its own store. Yeah, so the tannery is now sending to common goods, where people can buy leather for clothes, which is now meeting all of their criterias for level 1. Let's go ahead and get these new homes built, and then I think we'll wrap up today's video there. Look at our granary too. So yeah, I haven't really shown this off yet, sorry. There's now much kind of, the UIs have been tweaked much better, so we can decide what we do and don't want to store here. If we want no crafting materials at all, we can reject them all. Or you can refine down to which ones you do and don't want to stock, which is really cool. It's very kind of farthest frontier in the way you can do this now, which has a great system for just kind of stocking and, well, choosing when and where not to stock different supplies. So our third apiary here is creating honey. I'm guessing I've probably misinterpreted that then, which is adding an awful lot to our supply. 22 extra gold in there, that's fantastic. I think we'll keep a bit of regional wealth. Just got another 18 in there as well. Very cool, very nice. I'm almost tempted to build more apiaries then and start harvesting. So I just think with the apiaries, if we keep building them out, oh, I would love to put that in there. It's so annoying. It's fine. Oh, there is a sweet spot. There we go. Managed to find it. I'm sure there is some kind of min-max way to lay out these production chains, but I think that can take away from a lot of the organic feel that Manor Lords has if you start trying to min-max everything with layouts. So I want to try avoid it as much as possible, really. A new retinue has been assembled, which is fantastic. Yeah, so with our tax, we can pay tithe tax, which is going to give us influence, which allows us to claim provinces. This is going to send food to the church. We have a lot of food. So I think I'm going to pay 7% tithe tax. And we can do... We'll do 10% land tax for right now. That should be okay, I think. We should be alright now. Still more than a year's worth of food and fuel in the bank for our current population size. And we've got these guys growing up here now as well, so I'm going to upgrade you to be vegetables. And you will also be vegetables as well, alongside 2 extra living space upgrades to get those extra families in. And we can see now, right, that first vegetable plot we installed is now beginning to produce stuff. So as we move up to level 2, hat burgage plots when they need more food variety, and we should be able to keep that in line quite nicely. There's that first egg coming in now as well. Wonderful stuff. We've got a 4th apiary down. I'm going to put another family in there because that honey is doing wonders for us at the moment. We have 25. And we're also selling it as well. I wouldn't mind buying these guys a horse, because that'll allow them to trade a little bit quicker as well. But otherwise, we're coming up for an hour. But I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Big shout out to our golden eggs, Louis Adlam, O'Hay Casino, Phoenix MD, and Andrew Perez for supporting the channel over on Patreon. If you want to get involved in that, links are down below. And I hope you've enjoyed a fresh look at Manor Lords. Let me know if you want to see more of our chill, more long play Manor Lords content. Ton of fun this game, so immersive, and I'm just so happy to see new maps, new UI tweaks, fixes, gameplay changes, new animations, graphical improvements, and so much more. Absolutely love Manor Lords, otherwise I'll shut up and leave it there. I just thank you all so much indeed for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.